Verse 5, for this very reason, make every effort to add to your faith. Add to it. What do we add? Well, here it's very explicit. We add to the faith goodness, to goodness knowledge, and to knowledge self-control. Whoa, that's a difficult one, isn't it? Self-control. And to self-control, perseverance. Ooh, do we need perseverance? I've had to learn that one. Whatever the obstacles or whatever the battles, you persevere. I mean, I've done it through sickness, through every kind of persecution, imprisonment and torture and every kind of opposition. I have to persist. And this is how I treat the power of God. I mean, one reason why I could take football stadiums to evangelize even under communism is because I persisted. When they said no, I persisted. I said I refused to accept no for an answer. And it's only when I persisted that I got what I wanted. And with God's help, I always got what I wanted, despite problems. Oof. So we add perseverance. And to perseverance, we've got to add godliness, and to godliness, brotherly kindness, and to brotherly kindness, love. For if you possess, verse 8, if you possess these qualities in increasing measure, it's like everything else spiritual. It isn't a one-off job. It's a progression. It's an increase. Our love for Christ, our love for Jesus should increase. The longer we know him, the more it should increase. The power that we receive from him should increase. And this is something that I major on very much in my life. That all my life in ministry I've seen God's power, but it shouldn't diminish, it should increase. Not diminish with age. With age it should increase, not diminish. Yeah. So what we need to have is these things in increasing measure, and they'll keep us from being ineffective and unproductive. So that if you don't follow these things, the alternative is, quite bluntly, here in verse 8, it puts it, they will keep you from being ineffective and unproductive. Christian, I'm quite amazed, because you don't hear this really preached, that what we've got to look for an increasing in the knowledge and power of God to stop us being ineffective and unproductive. Look, how many Christians today, if you examine your life, are you ineffective? Are you unproductive? Look, if you're working in a job, and that's the difference, as you know, I started my life in banking, but I had to be productive. I had to do the job. In fact, the first job they gave me to do was so intense, and I had to be so productive. Not only did I work overtime, but when I was moved to a different job, they had to put 2 people to do the job I'd done. So I was productive. And so I want you to understand, we've got to be effective and productive in our knowledge of Jesus. And if anyone does not have this, look at what Peter is saying. You're nearsighted and blind. You know, that is a physical failing, isn't it? Nearsightedness and blind. Yes, all right. I'm nearsighted in one sense. I'm not wearing glasses to read and so on, but I do need glasses for driving because I'm nearsighted. I can see the near, but I can't see the distance. And do you understand? It's talking about exactly the same thing. That spiritually, you can have the same problem. Do you understand? Peter's being very blunt. Spiritually, you can have the same problem. You can be nearsighted. You see the things that are close to you, but you don't see the things in the distance. Or it's the other way around. You are long-sighted, you see the things in the distance, and then you can't read. I mean, it's a very simple lesson, which, yeah, when you get to my age, you do learn. That most people, as they get older, do become short-sighted. Spiritually, we should not become short-sighted. We should have a proper perspective. And then in the end of this, in verse 9, he says, if you don't have this, you're nearsighted and blind, and you have forgotten the basis of your salvation. Do you know, sometimes we've got to come back to the very basics. Come on, we've got to come back to the basics. That we have been saved and cleansed from all past sin and live a new life. Verse 10, therefore, my brothers, be all the more eager to make your calling and election sure. And here salvation is referred to as calling and election. Calling, yes, God called us, elected. Elect is choice. If you elect someone for parliament, you choose them. If you have a government, you choose that government, you elect them. If you have a president, prime minister, you elect them, you choose them. Election is choice. And it's saying, it's very, very clear here that we need to make our calling from God, His choosing us, as absolutely clear. And there's one thing I'm certain of, age coming up to 93, by the time you hit this, I shall have passed my birthday, I'm sure, that the one thing I'm certain of is that He chose me. I chose Him, but no, He chose me. And that's what makes all the difference. And it goes on, if you do these things, you'll never fall. And you will receive a rich welcome into the eternal kingdom of our Lord. Wow. So what we're talking about here is the entry into the kingdom. Come on. What we're here is the preparation for the kingdom.